My 20s were a life-changing decade. I was lost, then found, then lost again. Many times I had to have the courage to start over, try something new, and rebuild myself again. In my 20s, my mind opened to new ideas and perspectives in how I saw the world and how I saw life. I felt like I woke up from an autopilot that I had been in my whole life and started truly living my life. For the first time, I began to follow my heart and stopped listening to the voices outside of me. I took a chance and dared to dream. I struggled a lot along the way, with my family and judgment from others, but mostly with myself and my own self-belief and confidence. Taking the chance to explore and carve my own path, I experienced a life I never could have imagined for myself. Through knowing and embracing fear and uncertainty, I found freedom. And with that, I came alive. My 20s were a decade where I saw my dreams come true, where I witnessed firsthand me becoming the person I've always wanted to be, becoming a brighter version of myself, experiencing the transformation that happens when you learn to trust and fully align yourself with your soul's purpose. As I turn 30, I want to look back and share the journey over the decade that led me here. 20 was the age I started asking the big existential questions. What is the meaning of life? Why am I here? What's the point of all this? I took a lot of personality tests trying to figure out who I am and would have long talks about life with friends in boba cafes. My summer internship at a large advertising agency cemented my conclusion that office life was not for me, and that would be the last time I'd ever have a 9-to-5 type job. In the fall, I said peace out to LA and flew to Milan, Italy to study abroad. I was still posting singing videos on YouTube, which I had started doing in high school, and decided that I'd vlog my time abroad.
We are going
I spent my 21st birthday in 2 countries, Italy and Greece. Wilson came to visit and we happened to be traveling that day. This was an extraordinary time in my life where I began diving into self-reflection, reading, and searching for a deeper meaning to life. Living in another country, I was able to get out of the bubble that I grew up in and all of the pressure and expectations of academic life at USC. While I was in Milan, I didn't go to class. Instead, I journaled, traveled, ate a lot of pasta, spent a lot of time alone, and rediscovered myself. When I came back to LA for my final semester of college, I was hit with the harsh reality of life and its pressures, struggling to finish school and graduate, rushing to interview for jobs, trying to figure out the next step in my career. 2012 was a struggle and one of the hardest years of my life. I became depressed. I couldn't wake up for anything. I was missing class, missing group projects and presentations, missing job interviews, flaking on friends, just being really irresponsible. I felt like I was failing in life and everyone was judging me. I remember calling my school's crisis hotline just so I can talk to someone, and the hardest part was fighting with my family, mostly my dad, about my career path. If you didn't know, my dad lives in China and I don't see him often. In 2012, he came to visit and it was the worst timing he could have chose because I was so lost, emotional, and I had terrible mental health at the time. He didn't understand, he was frustrated, and tensions were high between us. I told him that I wanted to be an artist and he told me that I'm crazy. He didn't understand why I couldn't just get a job, any job to start with. I wanted to explore creativity, but I had no plans and no idea how to get there. Still, I decided to follow my heart despite all the judgment and pushback I was getting from others. So I pursued music, acting, hosting, marketing, just anything I was interested in really, and began the journey of finding my way. At 22, I had found an opportunity to help out a local startup food festival called the 626 Night Market, doing marketing, PR, and hosting live events. I actually spent my 22nd birthday performing at one of those events. This was the era of my life where I went all in on music. I was performing every month in 2013 at local venues, and I met a lot of musicians and creative friends during this time. Thinking back, these were such fun years, but at the same time, I'm not sure that I could fully enjoy it because I was so concerned about how to make it as an artist. I spent a lot of time reading books, taking songwriting and music production courses. I also auditioned for acting and hosting roles, and I had a lot of random one-off gigs. It's 11:57 p.m. and I'm very super duper excited
to release my birthday mixtape 1158, and it's my first album, and I wrote 5 songs, and I'm really proud of myself for doing this. And I haven't been able to sleep this past few weeks because I'll be like thinking about it and my heart will be beating really fast. But it's really exciting, so I want to share this moment with myself or wherever I post this in the future, that I'm really happy, I'm really grateful, and I'm really cheesy and I'm gonna cry, so bye-bye.
On my 23rd birthday, I released the Honestly Birthday Mixtape, a collection of my first original songs and some covers. I had worked really hard, isolating myself for 2 months, just writing and producing music for this album that I would gift to everyone for my birthday. I took it very seriously, and I was really nervous about it. A month later, I ended up releasing my first album, Honestly, and soon after planned an album release party. This is one of the proudest creative accomplishments of my life, and I even got to play at the House of Blues in LA and a couple venues in New York. A few months after, and music wasn't going as well as I had hoped, I had another mental breakdown, questioning myself and my path. In the state of confusion, I toyed with the idea of building an app and learning about tech startups. Later on, after binging YouTube, I asked myself, why do I envy these YouTubers so much? I thought this was a dream I gave up since my music channel didn't get anywhere. I felt too old to start another YouTube channel, but something inside me still wanted to dream that dream. Finally, I decided to just go for it and started Lavender in April 2014. This was my channel where I could share my life lessons and document my journey, figuring out how to create my dream life as an artist of life. At 24, I decided to quit my job at the food festival and pursue YouTube full-time. I was still making zero income, but my new channel felt so aligned with what I wanted, and I could really feel the positive impact I was making, even with a tiny audience. 2015 was the year that I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I embraced minimalism and decluttered all my things, which truly gave me the refresh I needed. As I documented my journey, those KonMari videos gave my channel its first boost in views, and I finally finally felt my channel start to grow a little faster. One of the coolest things I've ever done was going to Taipei for a month to shoot a short film with my film friends. We shot Picture Taipei in March 2015, and not only was it an amazing experience, I'm proud that we got together with an idea, put together resources and fundraising, and actually made it happen. The actual film was terrible, I can say that now, but the experience making it and the lessons I learned were priceless. I spent my 25th birthday in Kyoto, traveling with my family in Japan. At 25, I actually got to give a TED Talk, TEDx Youth to be exact. This was for a local high school, but I felt so amazed that I was asked to speak, especially since I didn't expect that this would happen this early. I started the Lavender Lifestyle podcast in May 2016, and later that year, I landed my first brand deal. 2016 was the year YouTube money started trickling in, and I became more confident in my path. Towards the end of the year, I was selected as a winner in YouTube's Next Up competition, and soon after, I hit my first 100K subscribers. At 26, I had the idea to create the first Artist of Life workbook. It would be a digital PDF workbook with questions and exercises that I had used to help me find myself and create my own path. I was so excited to launch my first digital product, and upon launching, a lot of people said that they were interested in a physical version of the workbook. Because my boyfriend Wilson works in sourcing and manufacturing, he encouraged me to make it physical, and he helped me a lot in making that happen. I rushed the first batch of 100 workbooks and personally signed and packed all of the workbooks that year. I would call 2017 my going pro year. I registered Lavender as a business. At 27, we went from selling 100 physical copies in 2017 to almost 2,000 in 2018. That was a launch with a lot of delays and issues. It was tough, but we got through it and I learned so much from it. In 2018, I moved in with Wilson to our first apartment together. I got invited to my first brand trip to Hawaii and also bought my dream car, a Tesla. I visited my dad in Shanghai after not seeing him for 3 years. I showed him my website and videos for the first time. This finally felt like a time where he started to accept my creative career, and it was a turning point and relief for me, although things still weren't perfect. My 20s were about finding myself and creating myself. I learned to believe in myself. I learned to love myself truly and fully. Looking back, I feel like life was more interesting when I didn't have things figured out, because that openness led to new opportunities that I couldn't have planned or imagined for myself. I had so many rich experiences in those early years when I wasn't making any money. Once I found a clear path and success, life became a little more routine and predictable because I had a direction now. That's not to say that one is better than the other, but I just want to show that it's okay to be lost. It's okay to not have everything figured out. That space is where magic can enter and create a more interesting life story.